Day number 6 of Chicago Bears training camp is in the books. It was a pretty chippy practice, but let's talk about everything that happened at Bears practice today. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears training camp update video, which I'll be doing every single day at training camp this year. I was not going to make a video today because I was actually out of the house and busy the entire day, but I did find time at the end of today right now to make a short little video because there was a lot that happened at practice today, and I did not want to combine it into tomorrow's video because that video tomorrow would have been way too long. So did find time to make a video right now, so I appreciate you guys patience on this video being a little bit late today. But talking about practice today, guys, as the title of this video suggests, there was a couple skirmishes at practice today. Okay, I would not call them fights per se. There weren't any punches thrown. It was not anything too crazy, just regular, training camp, emotions going on, and those got unleashed today with the pads fully on. Okay, that was the big difference today. The pads were on today, and the fans were in attendance too. I'm sure some of you guys watching probably went to practice, and I'm sure you guys had a lot of fun. It seemed like it was a lot of fun to be there, and I will be at practice tomorrow, so definitely say hi if you see me. Cannot wait to be there. It's gonna be so much fun. But talking about practice today, guys, talking about the injuries first of all. So according to Brad Biggs, he said that Braxton Jones indeed got a good deal of work in full pads, which is a positive development because he was limited earlier on in camp. So it seems like Braxton Jones is almost like basically the full health at this point. And nickel Kyler Gordon and linebacker Noah Sewell remained sidelined. So it seems like Kyler Gordon and Noah Sewell are still dealing with minor injuries. They should be back hopefully sometime soon. It's nothing major, but those guys are out as of now. And getting into the actual practice updates, let's talk about the fights first of all. And I'm saying fights, but they weren't actual fights, okay? They were just regular training camp skirmishes that happen basically every single year at camp. So according to Ficky from the BFR podcast, he said that Caleb Williams just got right in front of DeMarcus Walker's face. Tensions are high right now. Nicholas Moriano provided more detail. He said that DeMarcus Walker and Gerald Everett shoved each other after the play. Then Montez Sweat shoved Everett. Caleb Williams then got in the mix and pushed Walker. Things are getting fired up in 11 on 11s. Courtney Cronin said that intensity has ratcheted up a bit in 11 on 11. We've got some playful jawing between cornerbacks coach David Overstreet and running backs coach Chad Morton. Next play, DeMarcus Walker and Gerald Everett got into it after the offense took exception to Khalil Herbert getting tackled. Caleb Williams got in the middle of it to break it up. So yeah, it seemed like tensions were kind of high today at practice at a point. And when you're out in the heat with the pads on, especially going at it, every single day, at some point, yeah, tensions are gonna flare. Okay, it's football. Like, this is a gladiator sport, and guys get pissed at each other all the time in practice. Okay, that's totally normal. And I love that the energy is so high where something like that can happen. Okay, it shows you that these guys are practicing very hard and they're really into practice. Okay, they're fully bought into practice. That's why they're talking trash with each other. That's why they're kind of jawing at each other and kind of going at it in the middle of practice. As long as they don't throw any punches, as long as they can keep it under control and not let it get crazy where everybody is just brawling, I'm all for stuff like this happening. Okay, again, going at it every single day, at some point, yeah, you're gonna get a little bit annoyed at the opposing players you're going up against, even though they are your teammates. That's why I'm sure these players are excited to play in the Hall of Fame game. Well, some of them probably are going to play, not all of them, but I'm sure they're going to be excited to practice and play against a different opponent because, again, at some point it just gets annoying going up against the same guys every single day. And with how talented both sides of the football are on the Chicago Bears, guys have egos. Okay, guys like Jalen Johnson have egos. Guys like, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, they have egos, and yeah, they're going to talk a little bit of trash and go at it a little bit. And Caleb Williams, being the confident guy that he is, he's not going to be scared of getting into it either. So ultimately, I think the intensity is a good thing for the Chicago Bears. It shows you these players are really passionate about the game of football and they really care about performing at their best even in practice. But getting to the actual plays that were made in practice. So I want to talk about the offense first of all, and they had a pretty rough start to practice, and for the most part, I think the defense again did win the day, even though the offense did bounce back at the end. So talking about the beginning though of practice where the offense was not doing that well, according to Courtney Cronin, she said that it was not the cleanest practice in regards to the cadence for the entire offense. 2 false starts for the first team unit in 11 on 11, and 2 back-to-back just now for Brett Rippon's unit as well. Nicholas Moriano said the first team offense struggled to move the ball in the last 11-on-11 session. Back-to-back false starts, Jaquan Brisker pressured Caleb Williams and forced the quarterback to throw the ball away. On the next rep, Williams was forced to run right after not finding anybody open. The offense did connect on a tight end screen to Gerald Everett. There was good blocking on that play. And according to Jason Leeser, he said a Bears defensive lineman told the offensive line, "Y'all can feel free to block us anytime you want." Couldn't tell who, but DeMarcus Walker always a good guess. And I agree with Jason. That probably was said by DeMarcus Walker with how much trash this guy talks on a daily basis. But yeah, man, the Bears defensive line really dominated the Bears offensive line for the majority of practice today. And I'm not sure how to feel about that. Is that a good thing that the Bears defensive line is better than expected? Or is that a bad thing that the Bears offensive line is still having a lot of issues? We're not going to know until the games actually start, until we're facing off against other opponents and actually seeing how we stack up against other teams and other offensive and defensive lines. But if you want to be an optimist, a Bears optimist, then you can view this as the Bears defensive line maybe being better than we're giving them credit for. Okay, right now a lot of people view the Bears defensive line as being one of the worst ones in football. Like, I think a lot of people would probably rank the Bears D-line bottom 10, bottom 15 for sure. But we do have a superstar in Montez Sweat who's been having a great training camp. Okay, every single practice he's been giving the opposing offensive linemen a lot of issues. We have a promising young guy in Gervon Dexter, who I'll talk about in more detail right now, but he's been having a hell of a camp as well. You got guys like DeMarcus Walker who, have been making some splash plays on occasion, and you got Austin Booker, the promising rookie. So maybe it could be a better D-line than we're giving them credit for, and maybe they could actually propel the Bears defense into being a top 10, top 5 unit. Or if you want to be a pessimist, you could say the Bears offensive line has a lot of issues, and maybe we're not going to be a very good offensive line. Okay, maybe Braxton Jones still has issues with the bull rush. Maybe the interior still has a lot of problems. Tevin Jenkins still sometimes has injury issues. He did go out for a couple plays today due to injury. He did return, obviously, but, Tevin sometimes has issues with staying on the field the entire game. Nate Davis sometimes has issues just in regular pass protection, right? So, again, I'm not sure what to say about this until we go up against other teams, but at least on the first day of pads being on, the Bears D-line is winning the battle against the Bears offensive line. I do want to talk about a player in particular, Gervon Dexter, because he had a crazy good practice today, according to all reports. According to Zach Pearson, he said that the defense is getting after the offense right now, and Gervon Dexter is at the center of it. Courtney Cronin went into more detail. She said that Gervon Dexter's offseason conditioning appears to be positively impacting his get-off speed. He just blew up the backfield fast on the third play of this next team period. And then Nicholas Moriano said that Gervon Dexter Sr. just showed an impressive get-off the last rep. He blew up the right guard and got in the backfield. That get-off was noticeable. They're talking so much about that get-off because, as you guys know, that was one of Gervon Dexter's biggest flaws coming out of college football, getting off the line. Okay, he was not good at doing that in college football, and a lot of people said that part of that was because he was in a system at Florida that didn't really encourage getting off the line fast. Okay, it was more of a read and react type of system, which I don't watch enough Florida football to go back and see if that was actually true or not. But regardless, Gervon Dexter's get off did improve in the second half of last season, and it seems like so far in camp that get off is even better. Okay, he's a much more refined athlete. If you guys have seen photos of Gervon Dexter this offseason, he looks a lot leaner, he looks a lot more muscular, a lot less body fat, probably a lot faster, a lot better acceleration. So Gervon is putting the work, man. I mean, this guy really wants to be a superstar in this league. I know that he has something saved on his phone about him wanting to get 8+ sacks this upcoming season, which if he gets 8+ sacks, the Bears defense is definitely going to be a top 5 defense. I don't think it's going to be getting 8+ sacks. That would be a crazy high goal to reach, but hey, you never know. Okay, crazier things have happened in the NFL, and Gervon Dexter was a high second-round pick for a reason. He has all the tools to be a star in this league if he does put it all together. So great to see Gervon Dexter really showing a lot of promise so far in camp. But I do want to get back to talking about the offense, because even though the defense did win the day for the most part, the offense did bounce back in a big way at the very end of practice. So according to Greg Braggs, I'm not going to read all of this, but he went into a lot of detail about one of the final 11-11 series with the first team. So he said that the first play was a nice slip screen to Khalil Herbert. Second play, Caleb did a nice job of getting out of the pressure in the pocket to the left side and smartly throws it away out of bounds. Third play was a quick out to Rome Odunze for a nice, easy completion. Fourth play is a frozen rope over the middle on a post route to Keenan Allen in stride. Seems like a good throw by Caleb Williams. And then the fifth play is a deep corner route to Rome Odunze where Caleb and Rome could not connect. Rome had some trouble tracking the ball, but the sixth and final play was a beauty. Caleb did a good job of dipping left in the pocket, evading pressure, rolling out to the right, throws a bomb downfield to the end zone, and hits Tyler Scott in the stride for the touchdown. Scott stayed on his feet. And I got to put video of this play on the screen for you guys right now. Credit to the person that took this video, but this is a hell of a play by Caleb Williams, okay, to roll out and, find this guy open down the field, perfectly plays football down the field. The offensive line did not really do well on this play, but Caleb still made a big touchdown happen on his own, because that is what Caleb Williams does, okay? He has the ability to turn, broken plays or plays with the offensive line does not do that well into big touchdowns down the field, because he is special like that. Overall, I do like that Caleb Williams and the offense had the fight and the resiliency to bounce back after a tough start to practice and find a way to get into the end zone, because there's going to be a lot of games like that in the NFL where nothing is going right for the offense, but you just got to find a way to hang in there and make a play happen. I'm sure the Bears defense is going to keep a lot of games close for the Bears, even if the Bears offense is not doing that well, because we have a damn good defense. Okay, last year it was one of the better defenses in football down the stretch, and that should hopefully continue next year. So even if, Caleb and the offense are having some rough stretches, you just got to find a way to hang in there and make a play at the end. And we got the playmakers to do that, okay? We got guys like Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, and even Tyler Scott, guys, is making a lot of plays so far in camp. Like, he's been one of the bigger breakout players in camp up to this point. Like, every other practice, you're getting reports about Caleb and Tyler Scott connecting on a big play down the field. Now, it remains to be seen if that's going to continue. When the actual games start, I don't think Tyler Scott is going to be a huge part of the Bears game plan unless, injuries happen, but it is good to see, receiver number 4 stepping up and making plays like this, because like I mentioned, if injuries do happen, he might have to step up and, play for the Bears at stretches. And the fact that him and Caleb are getting on the same page is only going to benefit the Bears offense when the season starts. But sticking with the receiver room, I do want to talk a little bit about Rome Odunze and something that Jason Leeser had to say about Rome. So he said that from the day the Bears drafted Rome Odunze, I didn't understand the assumption that he'd be just a number 3 guy or whatever this season. He's a number 9 overall pick. He led the NCAA in yards last season. He has looked phenomenal in training camp too, and is beating top corners. And that's a true statement, guys. Like, even though he is a number 3 receiver on the Bears right now just because of being a rookie, I would not be surprised whatsoever if he does take over as receiver number 2 or even receiver number 1 at stretches, because of how damn talented he is. Okay, if not for Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors, he could very easily have been the first receiver taken in this class. Okay, it was a generational class at the receiver spot, and last year Rome Odunze very easily would have been the number 1 receiver taken off the board, and in many years he would have been the number 1 receiver taken off the board. Okay, he is a supremely talented prospect, and the Bears are very lucky to have him. So just like Jason is saying here, like, don't be too surprised if Rome does rise up the depth chart and, take over some games just because of the connection he has with Caleb Williams and because of the youthful energy that he has as well, and the ability to make contested grabs. Okay, I think he's the best on the Bears' entire roster right now, probably at making contested grabs, because he does have that height and, somewhat of that length. He's not a crazy tall guy, but he does have enough height and enough length to be, one of the Bears' better contested catch guys, I would say, this upcoming season. And lastly, I do want to talk about Tory Taylor, our punter, again, because we got some crazy good reports about Tory Taylor yet again. So according to Ficky, he said that Tory Taylor just punted a beautiful coffin corner kick that went out at the 3-yard line According to Greg Braggs, he said that 5-second hang time for Tory Taylor on a booming upward spiraling kick where the returner couldn't catch it with all the spin it had on it. Impressive. Second punt with the hang time of 4.46, 4.87 after that. And then Sean Hammond said that ho-hum, just another punt down inside the 5-yard line for Tory Taylor. And I believe this was another punt, so he had multiple punts down inside the 5 today at practice, which is just freaking insane. Okay, this guy is really impressing at camp. I mean, as much as a punter can possibly impress you, he is doing all that and then some. And I've said this over and over again in my videos. There are going to be games this year where Tory Taylor helps us win almost single-handedly because of his punts and pinning opponents inside the 5-yard line. He has the consistent ability to do that, and he's going to do that multiple times this year for the Chicago Bears. But leave your comments down below, guys. What you guys think about today's practice updates? I will be at practice tomorrow, so say hi if you see me tomorrow. Cannot wait for practice tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be having a video out shortly after I attend practice where I'll tell you guys about what I saw myself. So yeah, leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.